My name is Danielle Albritton. I'm the Study Abroad Coordinator here in the Office of Global Programs, and this is Chelsea Wooden.
Good morning and welcome to Albany State University. My name is Chelsea Wooden. I was a part of the Study Abroad summer 2015 and I went to Trinidad and Tobago.
To kick things off, I would like to welcome Dr. Laverne McLaughlin from Albany State's James Pendergrass Memorial Library and Ms. Nalucha Shakalima, one of ASU's international students from Zambia.
Good morning. It is now time for our country roll call. Argentina, Bahamas, Bangladesh, Belize, Brazil, Cameroon, Cape Verde, China, Colombia, Comoros, Costa Rica, Cuba, Czech Republic, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, France, Germany, Ghana, Haiti, India, Iran, Ireland, Italy, Jamaica,
Japan, Kenya, Lebanon, Moldova, Nigeria, Pakistan, Philippines, Puerto Rico, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Sudan, Taiwan, Turkey, Uganda, United Kingdom, United States of America, Zambia, Virgin Islands, and Zimbabwe.
We have now completed our roll call for this morning.
Thank you. Let's give all of our parade participants a round of applause. These flags represent all the different nationalities that are present here at Albany State University in the form of students, faculty, and some of our study abroad participants. So now I would like you to welcome Mr. John Howard, Albany City Commissioner, here to officially proclaim this International Education Week. Mr. Howard.
Good morning. Within the context of the Board of Regents, new strategic plans, and other dramatic factors that transform undergrad education in the U.S. and around the world, global education, knowledge, skills, and attitudes have become core expectation of studying and learning here. Whereas Albany State College has contributed much to our community with its graduate playing a vital role in the Dougherty County history and the growth, and whereas Albany State University, in a collaborative with the Dougherty County School System, International Education Week is being observed from November 2nd through November 4, 2015. Whereas Albany State University International Week, which brings more awareness about global knowledge and skills among our students, faculty, and whereas Albany State will closely work with the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia in bringing out all of the change required to meet the current challenge and preparing students for success in the 21st century. Now, therefore, I, Dorothy Hubbard, the Mayor of the City of Albany, Georgia, do hereby proclaim November 2nd through November 4th, 2015 as International Week in the City of Albany, Georgia, and commend Albany State University for its commitment to the higher education, including international education. I therefore encourage the students, administration, faculty, and staff of Albany State University to continue in the endeavor and provide and promote international education. In witness, therefore, I have unto sign my hand and cause the seal of the City of Albany, Georgia to be affixed. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. International Education Week is celebrated all over the nation and is sponsored by the U.S. Department of State. Right now we have a quick video from Secretary Duncan delivering the International Education Week 2015 message.
As we observe the 16th Annual International Education Week, it's important to recognize the role that education plays in promoting equity and opportunity for people in our country and around the world. Providing a high-quality education to all students is necessary to bridge the gap between those who have been traditionally underserved and their peers. And that's why this year we celebrate the theme of international education, advancing access for all. As President Obama has said, we expect that everybody gets an equal shot. We expect everybody can go as far as their dreams and hard work will take them. This idea has never been more relevant than it is today as we honor the 50th anniversary of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, or ESEA. Since it was enacted 50 years ago in 1965, ESEA has represented a strong statement on the importance of education as a critical civil right. It built a foundation for educational equality and promoted the expectation that Americans will fight for educational access and excellence for all. And this year, we also celebrate 25 years of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, another milestone that transformed perceptions, opened new possibilities for people with disabilities, and brought our country closer to reaching our highest ideals. We must work together to honor the legacies of both ESEA and ADA, especially in today's increasingly interconnected world. Compared to 25 or 50 years ago, though, we have the added responsibility of making sure our children are globally competent. And I'm proud of the Obama administration's work to do exactly that. The President's Young African Leaders Initiative helps young Africans and young Americans access the resources, training, and network they need to become the next generation of leaders in civil society, business, and government. Our Connect Ed initiative will provide almost all American students access to next-generation broadband, and this connectivity will help transform the classroom experience regardless of family income. And as partners in the United Nations 2030 Agenda, we are working toward a world where all students, including women and girls, have equitable and universal access to quality education. Yet, opportunities to learn global competency skills are not accessible to all students. Minority students are still largely underrepresented within the study abroad population, and access to world language courses and overseas educational experiences are still considered luxuries rather than essential components of a well-rounded world-class education. And let's work together during International Education Week and every week to make global competence the norm and not the exception. Thank you so much.
So now please join me in welcoming Dr. O.J. McKinday, ASU's Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, to deliver the opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to Albany State University International Business Education Week. We are certainly glad that you are here this morning to join us. We are particularly pleased to have our partners from the Dory County School System joining us this morning. We thank you for your cooperation and your assistance in having this program for this week. This program is very, very important, as you can tell from the speech we just listened to from the Secretary of Education. First of all, if you keep the end in mind for our students, the end for our students is to be employed, gainfully employed, after graduation from Albany State University. For many of you, you have been told several times, you will have to change your jobs at least 4 or 5 times in your career lives. And for many of you, these employers will require that you have some international experience, because we are now a global community. If you think of any company, they do not only operate in the United States, they operate worldwide. P&G, that is here in Albany, you may be here today working at the plant here at Albany. Miller Brewing Company here in Albany, you may be employed there, working there today. Tomorrow, they may ask you to go to South Africa. Miller Brewery is South African-owned company. It is operating here in Albany. P&G tomorrow may ask you to go to Germany. They may ask you to go to somewhere in Asia, and so on and so forth. So for those of you who have availed yourself to the international experience, when you are in that situation, it will not be a challenge to you. As a matter of fact, it will put you in a competitive environment, in a competitive position. So which means you have prepared yourself for the future by taking part in international experience. I say that with that illustration to our students to see the value in international education. Also beyond that, we are becoming a global community, as I said earlier on. Leaders of tomorrow, they must have a clear understanding of other cultures. As the major initiative of the Department of Education, one of the primary purposes of the international education is to expose the citizens, especially the young people, to the world culture so that they are ready, they understand what goes on, so that they can become better leaders of tomorrow. For Albany State, we emphasize the theme for this year, which is international access for all. That international access for all, you do not have to travel abroad to be part of that. You may be here in Albany State, or right here in Dory County within the school system and still take advantage of the international access for all. We have international scholars coming from abroad, coming here to teach at the university. We should take advantage of those who are here from various countries to understand their culture, to take advantage of the languages that they brought here, be it through seminar or simple workshop, and so on and so forth. At Albany State alone, we have people from about 148 countries, representing more than 1/4 of the world independent country. That in itself is a big asset for Albany State, as well as for the Dory County system, that we can leverage to provide international access for all right here at Albany State University. And then for our students, beyond that, study abroad should be taken more seriously. When you have the opportunity to do study abroad, it could be for the summertime alone. Wherever you have the opportunity, just take it, do it. You will be amazed how much transformed that 3 months experience will provide in your life. So all in all, this is an important initiative at the national level as well at our local level that I think we should take seriously. On a personal note, I would say that I'm personally disappointed with the number of people that we have in this audience today, because this is an important matter. I would have expected nothing less than this auditorium to be filled with our students and faculty and staff this morning. So that indicates to me that as an institution, we still have a lot of work to do to elevate the importance of international education, the relevance of international awareness among ourselves. So I hope for those of you who are here, you will help us to begin the dialogue with our colleagues who are not here, to see and consider the importance of international awareness, international education within our campus and then in all that we do. This is vital to the development of our country, the United States, as well as the world in general. So with that, I would say that Albany State University is ready and it is able to assist in whichever form to make sure that we develop and we become an important partner in the world awareness. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Enjoy your program.
Thank you, Dr. O.J. McKinday. We will now have the China Study Abroad group to come forth and make their presentation.
My name is Tiffany Rossler. I'm a mass comm major, emphasis in print journalism. And go ahead, I'll let her introduce herself as well.
I'm Tiana Spiro, and I'm also a mass communications major, and my concentration is electronic media.
So this summer we went to China for study abroad, and it was for the mass comm program. Although we did have a non-mass comm major that went, we actually had a education major. So it basically what I took out from this was I really highly recommend study abroad for all students. I was kind of hesitant to go because I think everyone's kind of hesitant with financially and stuff like that. But just right now, before we even get started, I just want to say if you're even thinking about it, do it, because it was really one of the best experiences that I've ever had out of it. So, you want to add? I don't know if you want to get started.
Well, my experience was a little bit different from hers. This was actually my second time going to China. And like she said, I would encourage anyone to go because this is definitely a life-changing experience. Also, like she said, if you're planning on going, you need to start raising money like yesterday. Also, there's plenty of scholarships available, such as the Gilman. ASU actually has a scholarship. It's through, what is it, student? Student affairs, yeah, student affairs scholarship that you have to make a PowerPoint present and in front of a judges panel, and they'll select your how much money you get and everything.
But we can get into, that's kind of what we're going to talk about as well. So first, we'll kind of,
That was my slide. Okay, I'll start off with courses. Our 3 courses were internship, photojournalism, and international journalism. Our internship class was very interesting. Basically because it was such a difference to see how our newspaper works in China versus newspaper in the United States of America. So basically, they broke down advertisement to us. It's pretty much the same as it is here. They make their newspaper makes their money off of advertising. Most of their advertisements are real estate, and we actually got a chance to go tour one of the real estate properties, and it was very nice. They were actually building it as we were touring through, but we went to the top floor, I think, and it was very nice. Also, photojournalism, we actually walked around, took pictures, and it's basically putting a picture with the article, pretty much. International journalism, we actually learned how to differentiate national news with international news. So basically something that's international to a China student would be national to us, or something that's national to us would be international to a China student. Okay, I already discussed that. Oh, well, we also had an opportunity to meet the Chinese interns. They were really nice. They spoke very good English, and it was pretty much the same as ours. They would go in, and some of them were actually doing web page design. And then also, there's an app for the newspaper Xiamen Daily, and we got to walk into the room where they were making the app, and that was a pretty neat experience as well. Well, that's pictures from our photojournalism assignments.
I mean, for some of the courses, we are traveling throughout the country. We're going to see different places, so we don't have always a classroom environment. We had, out of the 3 courses there, one of them was only a classroom environment, which is actually really interesting because we actually got to be with other Chinese students as well who were interested in mass communication. But the rest, we're on the go, so we kind of have to learn outside and experiment outside of the classroom, which is actually a lot more helpful because you're actually there, you're in everything. So that was actually really good. Oh, okay. Well, we kind of touched it. Yeah. Okay, so it's not as expensive as you think. I was one student that did not receive a scholarship, so I had to find other ways to pay for it. But if you fundraise early, if that you're gonna, for example, do it next summer, and you start now, instead of Christmas presents, you ask, hey, can I just have some money? I'm trying to save up for China or wherever you want to go. It's like pieces at a time. We had one student who literally every person he met, he asked for $1, and that's how he got his money. And so it works that way. And as we said before, the school does offer a scholarship where you make a presentation for wherever you're going, and then you present to a panel and they decide. There's the Gilman Scholarship, which I think a lot of our students got. There was I think there was 9 of us, and 5 people got the Gilman Scholarship.
I didn't get it.
Oh.
Just to pick up back off what she said about fundraising, I also couldn't receive Gilman Scholarship because you have to, in order to be eligible for Gilman, you have to receive Pell Grant. I didn't receive Pell Grant, so therefore, I had to think of ways to raise money. So my mom was like, well, you went last year, so you got to think of something else. So I used my tools, and I'm really good at pageants. So I had a pageant. I raised actually $3,800, which is the program fee. I raised that much money for my pageant.
So if if this is something that you want to do, it's a lot easier, and it shouldn't be the reason why you choose not to go, because for the longest time, that's why I was hesitant to not study abroad sooner, because of the money, because you look at it and you're like, dang, that's a lot of money. But if you just do it the right way and you get started early, it becomes really affordable. So
that's
basically
the
what we said. Yeah.
That's the 100 yuan, which is, I think it's $83 of our money. It's no. That's
60.
It's 60.
We're trying to think of it's
I know
60.
500 is 83 of ours.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So in China, your money goes a little bit long way over there, which was really nice, actually. Okay, so I guess the hardest part, or the most challenging part for students about study abroad, is the cultural differences. Especially, when you're going somewhere almost more so opposite, I guess you could say. A lot of students I know kind of struggled with the changes and the differences while we were over there. You have to come open-minded. Like, wherever you go, you have to be ready. You have to expect the worst and the best all at the same time. Especially when you know you're going to somewhere like, for example, the food it's going to be completely different. Like,
Completely different.
a lot. But to me, the food was like one of the best parts, but that's just me because I love Chinese food. So I had no problem eating everything there. But a lot of students sometimes would not even touch their plate because it was just new to them altogether. I mean, I don't know if you can see that's a toilet actually that's in the ground. That is real. We had to squat over a toilet for a public restroom. So, on the transportation here, we drive everywhere, of course, and everywhere over there you take public transportation or you can walk everything. That was one of the great parts. You could walk anywhere you wanted. You wanted to go shopping, you walked. Eat, walk. So it was nice, and it kind of helped us almost like stay in shape a little bit as well because we had to walk everywhere. But we also got to take a lot of different modes of transportation. I think we were there in China for a month, and I think I took about 7 different modes of transportation. We took a bullet train, we walked, we rode a bike, we took a plane, we took a boat, we took a taxi, we took a bus, we took a van. We covered it all pretty much. So that was a lot of different. But really, you don't know what you're getting yourself into when you go to these places. So you really have to just welcome everything that you do because you are there and you're going to be there for however long you're going to be there, and you might as well make the best of it. So that's one thing. If you are kind of like hesitant, do a lot of research about where you decide to go before you make your decision because, obviously you don't want to be unhappy where you go, but at the same time, just know you're in a foreign place, their culture is completely different, and you just kind of have to respect that and learn to fit into that right away because you're already going to stand out. So.
Oh, hello guys. I'm sorry I'm a little late. My name is Chanel Ford and I went to study abroad in China as well. What to bring, definitely light luggage because our instructor, Dr. Joe, he did say that you're gonna go up there and buy a whole lot of stuff. So you don't wanna overpack and then you go souvenir shopping and now you gotta pay for an extra bag at the airport. So definitely light luggage. An umbrella, that's the main thing that we all should have bought. Well, we bought one when we got there, but it's extremely hot. It was more hot than anything. It was humid. And everybody in China basically was walking around with the umbrella. So the sun is definitely hot. Bring a book bag. You are gonna do a lot of walking. I think we would walk like 4 to 6 miles a day. Like very close to it. I think Tiffany said it earlier, like all of us lost a lot of weight just from walking alone. And everything in China is not flat, it's a hill. So imagine every day we walking 4 to 6 miles on hills. Comfortable wear, tennis shoes. I suggest do not bring heels because I think somebody bought heels and really you didn't end up wearing it. So don't bring heels. Kalia. Don't bring heels. I would stick to tennis shoes and flats the whole time. Shopping money, that is definitely something to bring. In China, the conversion is $100 here equals 630 yuan in China. So yeah, it sounds a lot because you have $100 and in China it's $600, but the money actually go fast. Like I think I bought a shirt and it cost 200 yuan. So imagine 200 out of 600 going away that fast. Like Tiffany stated, definitely be open mind. You're in a whole nother country. It's not like you're in a tropical island somewhere with a nice beach and somebody's bringing you a coconut when you arrive. Like we went to a whole China. So definitely be open-minded. This a foreign country is different. I mean, it really don't matter what country you go to, but a country like China is definitely something you want to learn more about. Because, yeah, they have the latest technology and most of our products come from there, but it's definitely the opposite of what I expected China to be. My let me say, my experience definitely is once in a lifetime. The things that I learned in school is definitely true about China. My best experience was actually being able to climb the Great Wall of China. I mean, who can honestly say they literally, I didn't finish it because it's not just a staircase that you see right here. Like, I felt like I was gonna fall, so I didn't finish it. And you definitely need to have a lot of, I don't know, I just wasn't in shape for China. I didn't expect it to be like that, but definitely the experience is once in a lifetime. I would recommend anybody to go. Yes, everybody have their opinions. Some people didn't enjoy it, some people did it, some people loved it, but once you're put in that predicament, you just have to just really put yourself out there. So my experience was amazing. Yes, it was some points where I cried because I was ready to go home. I was tired of being stared at. Everywhere I went, I was being stared at. It was like I wasn't a person. It was like I was an object in China, like a black, shiny object that everybody just stared at. But other than that, I loved it. Would I go back? I probably would if it have to do with like business or school related, but I don't think I'll just be like, hey, let's go to China for the next spot. But it was definitely memorable. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Crystal Israel. I was also a student that traveled to China over the summer. My experience also was great. You know, it's a great experience to be able to come back and talk to other people about it. It's a one-in-a-lifetime experience. It is a very helpful experience when you put it on your resume. Every job interview that I have been to since that experience, that's all they want to talk about. So it's great to be able to get put out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid. I was very afraid before I went. You know, it was exciting, but the day before the flight, I was like, do I really want to go? You know, because you really are away from home. But you know what? It was helpful. We got to learn a lot of different things. And we can honestly say that, you know, we've been to China. That's nothing that's not normal that a lot of people can say that. So just make sure that you try at least, like Tiffany said, the money is scary when you don't really know what you're going to do to get the money. But once you start fundraising and once you start applying to scholarships, it becomes it becomes reality. So I say if you're thinking about studying abroad anywhere, take that chance and go. That's all I have to say.
Okay, my experience in China, it was pretty much just like theirs. You had your good days and you had your homesick days, but they kind of balanced out. But one thing I did like about studying abroad is that although I was away from home, this trip made me bond with my Mako family, and we've been close ever since. An experience, my favorite experience in China, it was a lot. I liked making the opera mask. I liked visiting the host family. They were really nice. It was a lot of things. We got to do more than just climb the Great Wall of China or climb the temple. So it was a really good experience, and it really opened my mind up, and it made me appreciate home so much. So, yeah. Shin Shin. Thank you.
We learned that. I know what it meant too. I was like, what was that?
Thank you all for such a wonderful presentation. We will now have Ms. Ashley Davis to come up and introduce the Study Abroad faculty panel.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Ashley Davis. I am the Graduate Assistant for Global Programs. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our panelists. First, we have Dr. Irma Gibson. I guess as I call your name, you can just have a seat at the stage. That's how. Next, Ms. Janice Hood. Yes, please. Thank you. Next, Dr. Catalina Munns. Dr. Mimi Noda. We have Dr. Neka Nora Sakwe. Dr. Anthony Owusu Anza. Dr. Candace Pitts. Dr. Adriana Primo Vincent. Dr. Juan Joe, or is it John Juan Joe? Is that correct? And last, Dr. Stanley.
Thank you all for being here. Today we have a panelist of international faculty and staff of the Dorothy County School System who have had international experiences. And we want them to share some of the experiences they have in relation to providing access to students and members of the community, providing international access to all. The international study abroad faculty are going to discuss some of the courses that they teach abroad, and they will also explain to us how this relates to providing international access to all, which I'm sure you all listened to the Secretary of Education, Duncan, explaining what we need to do in order to provide international access to all. So without much ado, let me invite the first speaker. The first speaker is the coordinator of the Trinidad and Tobago Study Abroad, and she is Miss Dr. Gibson.
Good morning. I am Dr. Gibson in the Department of Social Work, and Trinidad and Tobago 2016 will be my 7th trip there as a program coordinator and my 4th under Albany State University. My reasons for choosing Trinidad and Tobago basically is because of the level of learning that students who do choose to go can obtain in terms of the fact that it's a country that's a developing nation, yet it's rich in natural resources, but the poverty in that particular country is unprecedented. So the students get to learn a lot. And because of the diversity, it is made up of people from a variety of ethnicities and religions. And it's 2 islands that make up one country. One country is very, very fast-paced, Trinidad, and the other, one island is very fast-paced, Trinidad, and the other island is very rural, Tobago. The 2 courses that I teach, International Social Welfare Policy and Service Learning, and Global Research, I basically put those 2 courses together to address any discipline. Even though I've had 30 years of social work practice, I have worked with entrepreneurs, I've worked with educators, I've worked with nurses, I've worked with business people. And so when I put those 2 courses together, I had that in mind, as well as social consciousness, civic responsibility, and the global internationalization of that particular student. But no matter what you choose to do in your career, you need to know who you serve, what clientele you'll be serving, and their backgrounds or something about them. I think that would promote your knowledge about how to make what you do successful, as well as serve your client or consumer in a good way. So it's open to every discipline. The service learning agencies under the social welfare policy course is included. So depending upon whatever, no matter what your major is, I try to match you up with an agency wherein you can serve and get to know the people. So there are right now 4 agencies that we visited maybe the last couple of years, an HIV/AIDS facility that caters to the children of Trinidad and Tobago who've been abandoned or impacted by HIV/AIDS. There's a school that we service called the Center for Strategic Learning and Special Education, who addresses the needs of those who have developmental disabilities. There's an elderly home as well as a youth at risk facility. And so one year I had a business major who accompanied me on the trip, and I placed him in a social agency to shadow the CEO of that particular company, and he learned quite a bit. Under that particular course, in addition to the service learning, we have a cultural history seminar as well as a social work seminar to tell them about everything from A to Z that pertains to Trinidad and Tobago. In the global research course, the students get to choose what it is that they want to research. So that's their opportunity again to bring it back to their discipline. And in addition to that, they are required to interview either a University of Trinidad and Tobago faculty member or a University of West Indies faculty member, which is the school that really supports us. And so they get to interview those faculty members in regards to the research that they're conducting. In addition to the seminars, my 2 courses, it's packed with cultural excursions. I mean, if you're going to play, you don't want to choose Trinidad and Tobago. It's 30 days, and I don't think you would want to pay that kind of money to sit down and sleep late every day. And as the China group indicated, there's a lot of walking, so you have to be in good shape. I think my students are a little spoiled, though, because they get on the maxi taxi and for most of the time, but there is a lot of walking when it comes to the excursions. Okay. Why would you want to study abroad? I think you've heard most of the speakers talk about it. It's the trend, really, whether you're gonna choose a career in this or that. Employers are expecting that as well, as it's a part of our strategic plan here at Albany State University and every college that I know of. Internationalizing our students is a top priority, and it's life-changing, personally and professionally. And so that's the feedback that I've been getting, and as the China group said, you know, you're gonna have some who are going to love it, you're gonna have some who are going to complain, but I promise you, if you proceed with an open mind, it'll be a wonderful experience. And so in terms of career goals, again, you get to be exposed to another culture, and you get out of your comfort zone. And I always use my favorite phrase, which is the world is your classroom. From the time you step on the bus here in Harnett Hall to the time you come back, that experience in itself is what you will learn from. And so that's my program, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gibson. We will now invite one of the faculty members in history and political science that is proposing a new program that is going to take off this spring. I'll now call on Dr. Stanley. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Osakwe, and good morning. Several of the previous speakers have addressed the personal and professional benefits of study abroad, so I won't go into those except to say that it is increasingly important to see on resumes in a competitive and increasingly globalized job market. But there are a lot of personal reasons and personal advantages to studying abroad too. I am creating a spring break in Paris, France program, and this is at least ideally going to appeal to students who don't want to bite off the entire semester or summer-long study abroad program, so it's something a little shorter, a little more manageable. And in France, in Western Europe in general, you have a little less, I guess, cultural shock. So it's a good sort of transition program, I think, for a lot of students into the study abroad. But it's unique in that most of the class is actually going to take place here on campus at ASU through a public history course, History 2117. And for those of you who don't know, public history is sort of the way that we historians apply history in a very practical sense. So people who study public history go into, a lot of times, museum preservation, television, the archives, librarians, curators, museum work, a lot of different things like that. So what this course is going to look like is essentially it's going to be a public history course that emphasizes revolutions. So one of the great sort of vehicles of social change with a particular emphasis on the French Revolution. We're going to talk about other revolutions too, but being that the course is going to be in France, we're going to focus specifically on the French Revolution. And the course will be geared around preparing a final paper/presentation that you can put on your resumes and might even be able to translate into some sort of publishable format. So the long-term goal here is something you can put on your resume, in addition to just going abroad, that you'll actually have something sort of tangible you can use for graduate school or for the job market. The program itself will be 9 days in Paris over spring break. We'll be, taking classes at ASU before that, 9 days in Paris, and then come back to ASU and finish it up. And the makeup itself in France, this is my, this will be my ninth trip to France, but my first time as a program coordinator. It wasn't that long ago. I'm just recently removed from graduate school myself, so I was sitting in your position, and I had a couple of some of my most memorable moments or most memorable times as a student were on education abroad trips, 2 of them that I went on. And so I wanted to sort of get involved in that as an educator myself. So when we are in France, what we will essentially be doing is in the mornings visiting public history sites associated with the French Revolution. And this is where you will sort of answer some investigative questions that we develop and sort of a model we develop before we actually get there that will culminate in that end of the semester project. So we will be visiting monuments, museums, buildings, public sites, and talking about theoretical questions that have to do with revolutions in public history and public space, the relationship between monuments and power and public policy and things like that. But in the afternoon, we're also going to be regular tourists. So the kinds of things that most students want to see in Paris would be the Eiffel Tower, the Champs-Élysées, the Louvre, the cafes, the Sacré-Cœur, Notre Dame, things like that. So we'll be, traditional tourists as well. But in general, this is just a new sort of hybrid trial format for students who, don't want to commit to the entire semester or summer length. But do sort of want to be able to put a study abroad experience on their resumes and experience it, the benefits of that personally as well. So thank you.
So let's listen to Dr. Primo Vincent. She is going to be doing Dominican Republic.
Hey. Good morning. I didn't know that we needed to do something so formal. Otherwise I would do a PowerPoint. I am trying to establish the program to Dominican Republic, and the reason I chose this place, first of all, because of cost. It's close to the United States, so the airfare would not be that expensive as if we go across to Spain or Argentina or Peru. Also, Dominican Republic hold the first city in Americas, which is Santo Domingo. It was founded in 1498 and is a World Heritage Center. So there are many historic buildings there, and also the culture of Dominican Republic has a lot to offer. So the course basically that I'll be teaching is literature in Spanish, beginning in Spanish, so which would favor those who need to take a beginning course in Spanish as a requirement for your graduation. So I will be teaching Spanish 101 and Spanish 4002. The other thing is, the reason I think it's important to study abroad is because of myself. I had the opportunity to study in Germany, and also I am an immigrant here in the United States. So I learned, with my experience, I learned how to appreciate the differences and also the good in my own country. You know, we take things for granted, and we do not know how to appreciate those things until you don't know or you don't have them. So I think it benefits anybody as a personal experience to grow and learn how to appreciate your own culture and the other people's culture, as well the differences between the two cultures. So I'm really excited about this program, and we basically will be at school in the morning from 8 to 12 with a break, and have a break for lunch, go back to the school, and then at the end of the afternoon, we have the opportunity to go around the city, you know, get to know the forts, the fortified places, the churches, the first university in Americas, in a lot of other cultural activities like la bachata, el merengue, the opportunity to learn the music and the food and whatever is typical of that region. That's it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Primo Vincent. We are going to invite one of our collaborators. We collaborate with the Dorothy County School System, and here we have the director of the ESL program, Ms. Hood. She has been wonderful in bringing the students and parents in activities related to international education, and today she will share with us her own aspect of providing access, international access to students.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation this morning. I'm going to start out, first of all, to tell you a little bit about myself. When I was 17 years old, I knew I wanted to go overseas. Now, some of you, I don't know if that is something you want, that you've thought about, or is that something you're just thinking about? But that was my calling at the age of 17 years old. So when I went to college, and I went to Toccoa Falls College, I studied missiology. It's called cross-cultural communication. At this time, they changed the name of it. But anyway, my overseas experience started in 1994. My husband and I went to Albertville, France to learn the French language. And from 1995, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back up a little bit. The reason we went to France was to study the French language so we can go to Africa. Much of Africa is French speaking, so it's very important. I could have learned French in Africa, but they want you to learn the true French, because once you get to Africa, they blend it with all kinds of other languages. So anyway, that's my experience in France for a year and a half. 1995 to 2012, we moved to Mali, West Africa, one of the poorest countries in the world. How many of you heard of Timbuktu? All right, it's a real place. It's in Mali, West Africa. It's a place where Bambara is one of the many languages spoke, so I can speak. Nebeseka Bamana Kafo. I can speak Bambara. My son was born in Fedekese Dougou, Cote d'Ivoire. So that makes my son an African American. Dun-dun-dun. So anyway, in 2012, we came back to the United States for reasons out of our control, and I became a teacher of first grade. I was in the classroom, regular classroom, till 2009. And my heart was still in Africa, because I feel a lot of what you do overseas is your calling. I mean, you can just want to go over for a little bit of fun, or maybe it's a calling for you. For me, it was a calling. And when we came back, I really missed it. And so there was an ESOL job coming open. For those who don't know what ESOL is, it's English Speakers of Other Languages. We have over 200 of those in Dougherty County, in the Dougherty County school system. So my job, along with the ESOL teachers in Dougherty County, our responsibility is to make sure that our speakers of other languages are able to learn the English language and to be able to succeed in the Dougherty County school system. So it's a major undertaking. 2013, I went from an ESOL teacher to ESOL lead teacher. And this past year, 2015, I coordinate the program at this time. I want to share a little bit about some other experiences that are out there. I don't know if you have them here or not, but you do have an ROTC program. In 2012, I traveled as the Director of Instruction with the University of North Georgia. It's a program between ROTC and the Army where you can go overseas, countries where we have bilateral agreements between the United States and those countries. You can go over and you can teach their military English. The first group I went out with was a group to Burkina Faso, a small town called Po, just a little bit north of Ghana, for those who are in Ghana. And it was a great experience. I traveled with 22 college students from across the United States, and our purpose was to teach 44 Africans from 10 different countries the English language, because it's very important when you're working with our militaries to be able to communicate, whether when we work with English speakers. Okay, it's very important for them to understand English. And then in 2014, I went someplace totally unfamiliar, and that being Lithuania. And again, it was a group of ROTC students, and we taught them military English as well. So my encouragement to you today, whatever the program is, first of all, I'll promote this program. Please go overseas. You won't regret it one bit. As a matter of fact, it'll make you even a better person all the way around.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Hood. I'll now invite Dr. Mimi Noda to give us her presentation. She is proposing a program to Japan, and we'll invite our students to listen and know how to be involved in this program.
Minasan konnichiwa. I said hello everybody in Japanese. I'm Dr. Mimi Noda. I'm teaching piano, but actually I'm teaching Japanese. This picture, we went to Tallahassee Asian Festival last month, and we had a wonderful time. These are my students and their friends. Okay, let's start. Study abroad Japan is we don't have, Albany State doesn't have so far, but Albany State University belongs to University System of Georgia, and I'm a member of USG Asian Council. So Valdosta State University and USG Asian Council is combined, the collaborative work. Any student in Georgia could apply. So I'd like to introduce that one. So that will be happening next year, June 10 to July 15. I hope everybody knows Japan. Population is like very a lot. How to pronounce? 129.3 million. And land is almost same as California. So 3 times smaller than Texas. No, 5 times smaller than Texas. Then a lot of people living. Capital is, Tokyo. We will have Tokyo Olympic 2020. We are so excited. And major city is Osaka, Kyoto, and Nagoya. And time difference is 12 hours. So when I call to my family in Japan, I always have to be careful. Once I called our daylight, and they are sleeping, and I was so sorry. Okay, next year, we will go to the Kansai University, Osaka, Japan. Osaka is second big city in Japan. Student is a lot. 3,000. Yes, okay, thank you. And faculty is 1,040. Anyway, this is one of the major university in Japan. Everybody knows this university. This picture is from the past this summer. I borrowed the picture from the teacher who was teaching there. And it will going on like this. And they will provide, the class they will provide is Japanese 1, Japanese 2, and Japanese film. Have you ever heard movie director Kurosawa? Do you know? We are proud of Mr. Akira Kurosawa. I'm sure that, they will do Kurosawa film. And Japanese film, Kansai University faculty will be teaching. This one, cultural activities. This picture is a tea ceremony. We have the special tea ceremony. Can you see in the bowl that very green? That is green tea. That green tea leaf, the very, very thick green tea. Actually, I cannot drink. That is not my favorite tea. Then also we will go to field trip, Kyoto, Nara, and more. I will show you. This is cultural exchange with local children. This is Kyoto. I'm sorry, the picture is not good. But Kinkakuji. King means golden. Golden temple. Built almost 1,000 years ago. This one is in Nara, Daibutsu. Can you see the people talking? And this is very, very huge. And these pillars, this is the original building. 1,200 years ago, someone built. That's great. Okay, this picture I borrowed from the teacher in Valdosta. Do you see the middle here? This is Albany State University student, Mr. Daphne Brown. Where are you? Yes. He went there. So this is a city in Osaka. They, as you see, they are having very nice time. Trip. They went, and we will go Hiroshima, Miyajima, and Mount Fuji climbing, and Tokyo. Free action, a couple of days, free action. Mount Fuji climbing, Daphne will explain, but Mount Fuji, have you ever seen Mount Fuji? That's beautiful, symmetry called mountain. But actually, I found the picture. This is Miyajima. This is Miyajima. The Hiroshima bomb. This is Mount Fuji. It's very beautiful, but actually when you go try to climb, become like this. Yeah, I don't know. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. But Daphne did. Okay, this is in Tokyo, Akihabara. Some people have heard. Akihabara, that is electronic city and, the center of Japanese culture. The manga, animation, like that. This is from 2 years ago. She is Miss Jennifer Swan, wonderful art student. She already graduated. She went there 2 years ago. This is Tokyo, huge, huge town. The cost is $3,500 plus tuition. So you might think, $3,500, that is too expensive. No. When you go to Japan, especially that June time, only the flight ticket, I always pay $2,000. If I can find $1,800, I feel very, very lucky. But $2,000. And this program is 6 weeks, plus 6 weeks plus a little bit. So $3,500 means maybe go there and just 3 days staying. I'm not kidding, that is true. So more than 6 weeks and $3,500 plus tuition is very, very extremely cheap. So I will not go next year, I cannot go. But I'm hoping we can open the original Albany State University Study Abroad program, Japan program. Oh, in the future, I'd like to join to this program. So, but anybody can apply to this program. So please think about that will be very, very great experience for you. Arigato, I wrote, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now,
Dr. Noda,
Thank
while
you.
we are still on Japan, can we invite Daphne Brown, who went to Japan this past summer, to give us a quick talk on his experience in Japan? Daphne Brown.
Oh, just stop? Okay. Where would you like me to start? Well, first we landed in, it was a 13-hour flight from Fort Worth, Texas. We flew from Atlanta to Texas to Narita to Kansai Airport. And we stayed in Osaka for 3 weeks, and it was pleasant because we got to stay in a dormitory of Kansai University, or Kansai Daigaku, because that's kind of what they say. So this Daigaku's for university. And we stayed in a dormitory, and I got to meet people from, a lot of my friends were from Australia, South Korea, Thailand, Taiwan, Cote d'Ivoire, Morocco, Egypt, the UK, Belgium, Sweden. I just got to meet a lot of people who are also studying abroad. Some were there for a month like me, some were there for 6 months, some were there for a year. And it opened my eyes to more to the global aspect. Not only was I in one country, but I also got to stay in a dorm with people from other countries. So first day we were there, we was exchanging common phrases amongst our cultures. Kansai University is gigantic. It is really big, has convenience stores on campus. It has kendo, judo, Japanese archery, and like several other different clubs and organizations. You couldn't join one unless you were there for over 6 months. But we got to see kendo classes. We also did tea ceremony, like she said. We went to Kyoto, and I seen a lot of things from Kyoto, Nara, Hiroshima, Miyajima Island. The one she showed with Miyajima at the, what was it? Miyajima Shrine, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, the shrine was, you can actually walk up to it when the tide's low. So what she showed was high tide, and I didn't get to see high tide, but it was beautiful. But low tide, you can actually walk up to it. I went to an aquarium in Miyajima. A lot of stuff I did by myself, only because Japan's a safe country, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything possibly happening. because some people like how the Chinese study abroad program said that some people were, you know, a little hesitant to do things, and some people were, you know, glad to do things. But I spent $5,000 to come here, and I'm not finna sit in my room and not do anything. So if somebody didn't want to go with me, fine, I'll go by myself. I'll take the Hashin Railway. I'll make my way, find the information booth. Hey, can you take me here? With the best Japanese I know, because my Nihongo is Skoshi. I speak little Japanese. So I found a map. They gave me a map, and they directed me. You walk this way, this way, this way. You make a right, left, and then you go the way you go. You don't have to worry about conversion because you get all your money in yen. And then you just go from there. It wasn't culture shock because I was trying to go to Japan since I was in 11th grade. And I put off graduation in May to actually study abroad this summer. So it was an opportunity I had to do. And I felt like being the first person in my family to go to Asia, because everybody else been to every other country. So I was like, fine, I'll just go to halfway across the globe if I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it big. So the food was great. I tried a lot of things I probably would have not tried in America. I'm really open. That and not being able to read katakana, hiragana, or kanji, for a matter of fact, all the writing systems on my first few days I was there, you kind of picked up the bag and was like, okay, well, if it doesn't kill me, then I guess I might eat it again tomorrow. So I had sukin soba, which is soba noodles, but you have to dip it inside the sauce and eat it. Onigiri, which is rice balls, but the thing about rice balls that I didn't know is that you don't know it could be inside the rice ball, so you could be eating it. It could be, fish flakes. It could be, which are good. I didn't really think they would be good. Raw meat, bean paste, red bean paste. It was really interesting. I had food that was literally cooking in front of me. Okonomiyaki, which is a popular dish that stands for everything you like fried. It was noodles, like a what was it? Like a pancake. It wasn't like a pancake, but more like a biscuit, but a pancake on top of the noodles. And it had Japanese mayonnaise, which does not taste like American mayonnaise whatsoever. It tastes way better. Sometimes it's a little sweet, sometimes it's a little tangy, but once you start throwing all the stuff on the food, it doesn't really matter from there because you already bought it. So, and the most disturbing thing I had that kind of scarred me, and I kind of fell asleep like immediately after I ate it because I was so mentally shocked from doing it. It was an octopus on a stick. It was a fried octopus, and it was red, and I could see like the face of the octopus. And I was like, oh no, I'm really finna do this. It's 500 yen. It's like $4. So I said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I was eating like the tentacles, and it was like chewy. And I was like, okay, I kind of expected them to be chewy. But then it came to the main event, eating the head of the octopus. So all the kids on the bus from Thailand, they were saying, eat it, eat it. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm not ready for it. And I thought that it was, the brains are fried inside the octopus, but it was actually egg at the time, and I didn't know it. So when I ate it, I was like, oh man, I actually did it. So when I got done, I was like, what did I do? Like, what have I done? So I just went to sleep on the bus. And then I woke up and we was back in Osaka, and I said, okay, I had fun in Kyoto, but I don't think I'm gonna do that again. And it was just a great experience. I would like to go back. I'm actually applying for the JET program, which is a program where the Japanese government pays for you to teach English in Japan. So all you have to do is just compete with the other 46 English-speaking countries and their people who apply, and hopefully you make it. So that is what I plan to do. I plan on going back and teaching for a year, then after that going to law school and practicing international law and get my MBA in international business, and hopefully have a chance to get more students from Albany State, the Doherty County school systems more in particular, to study abroad, because this experience is invaluable. What it would be valuable on your resume, and to the other people who look at you and say, oh, because I brought back a lot of souvenirs. I had 2 empty suitcases, like you said, pack light. First suitcase, 15 pounds. Second suitcase, 2 pounds. When I came back, both of the suitcases, both really large suitcases, 49 pounds, right at the 50. Both large suitcases. I filled the things up. I bought baseball jerseys. I brought rocks from the top of Mount Fuji. I brought just anything I could ran across, newspapers, like shopping bags. I brought receipts because some people were like, oh, how did you buy something you couldn't read? I said, well, the money's there, so if I could just, here you go, 5,000 yen, they go give me the money. I mean, give me what I paid for. So just do what you have to do. If you're thinking about it, do it, like they said. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll go ahead and call you Professor Defen Brown. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful experience. We'll go ahead with Dr. Anthony Owusu-Ansah, who is going to be doing a program in Ghana. Ghana is one of our newest programs. I led students to Ghana last summer, 2014. And this year, we have 2 professors, Dr. Pete and Dr. Anthony Owusu-Ansah at the College of Education, planning for Ghana program. Please listen.
Okay, thank you. We're planning to take students to Ghana, and our program is geared around some kind of a research-based thing where we want students to take the ECEC 3355 course, which is developmental reading, and the class will run the way it should run during the spring, and the students who do their practicum and observations here will get them observation tools, get them books and everything. They'll do their practicum here, and then during the spring break, just like Dr. Stanley said, we'll go back to Ghana, and then we'll use the same tools over there, and then compare the 2 situations and see how reading the same set of books and the same tools, how the kind of results, the kind of data we can glean from both places. And the students will be allowed to write their own undergraduate research and present here. And I think it's a very great tool for our students. So that's what we're planning out. I know that the money issue is very strong with us, but I encourage all our students to get into it. If you are not an education major, you can still travel with us. We'll get you something to do in terms of reading, in terms of applying your area to the reading part, and then get the students to work with it. But at the end of the day, we want anybody going with us who plans to go with us to be able to do research. I mean, to be able to come up with some kind of piece that when we do the undergraduate research, you should be up here and present what you did in terms of either reading or in terms of applying your biology or mass communication, whatever, to what you found out. I have traveled a lot around the world, and like Ms. Hood said, I participated in the ROTC program. I had a chance to go to Togo, which is just next to Ghana. I didn't have to go to Togo. I know the place, but they took me to Togo. Everything paid for. I traveled like a president. I had 2 gendarmes with guns by my side. I had a whole captain behind me everywhere I went, everywhere. So it's good to travel. Please do it. I stayed in the hotel. I had gendarmes right in front of the hotel. Nobody could come in. I don't want to do that. I want to be free a little bit. And I had a chance also to go to Kiev in Ukraine, and you'd be surprised. I was on the 13th floor, and I had a whole suite to myself. No one would come there. No one. And I had guards all over the place. So please, yes, that's the truth. Everything paid for. So please do it. Do it. Just take a chance and go out there. Now, some of the things we would like to do back in Ghana is not just doing the research, but you'll have the chance to visit slave castles and other things, other important sites in Ghana that pertain to culture and all that. We'll start during the spring break, and we have 1 more week to complete the whole thing, and will come back and join the class. So all those who are interested in this, please either see Dr. Sakwe or Danielle, and we'll get you going. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. Dr. Wusu answer, thank you. Now, the last but not the least, the China. Dr. Zhu will tell us more about China and those students who intend to register for these programs we've talked about. Please leave your name outside with the person outside, and leave your contact information, and you can also come to Wiley Hall 231 to register your name and get more information about the study abroad programs. Over to Dr. Zhu.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Osakwe. And the speakers came before me have already explained very well the importance of going overseas for college students. And I just want to add one additional point to stress. If you have ever spent your spring break in Cancun, Mexico, that doesn't count. When your employer interview you, where have you been? If you have never been outside of Georgia, you know that really doesn't make good. But you know what? You can get over this. You don't have to go to New York, Pennsylvania, California. If you have study abroad experience, doesn't matter China or other wonderful countries, nobody will care if you have been to California or New York or other places. So that's a shortcut, a long way, but a shortcut to expand, to polish your resume. And we started the China program, the current China program, back in 2012, the summer of 2012. It was our first program, and over the years, we have improved our program, I would say, dramatically, and so to tailor to the needs of the students. Back in 2012 and 2013, I guess our rationale of having China program for the university, I think mainly due to the importance of the bilateral relationship between the U.S. and China. For some years, many people in both countries believe it is perhaps the most important bilateral relations in this world. Back then, though, we were mainly thinking about the strong economic ties, the trade, and the interdependence of the two nations' economy. So it makes sense for us to study China if we want to know how to do business with China and vice versa. Recently, and I would say most recently, and I guess I'm hearing louder and louder voice, after I came back from China this summer, that the relationship between the two countries has become more interesting. And how to say that? Because of the rise of China, because of the new leadership, the new direction is taken, and because China is transforming in its own economy. And so I guess the power relation is kind of changing, and more people in the US begin to see bigger threat from China, from rising China. I was attending a young scholar forum back in early in October, and a good number of scholars, well, mainly people who are under the age of 40, present their studies and ideas on how to forge a better relationship or more peaceful, prospect in between the two countries' relationship. So we are seeing a crossroads between the relations between U.S. and China relationships. One of the prestigious famed scholars in that forum that I just mentioned to described the relationship as the most consequential relationship in this world. That's the U.S.-China relationship. That's very telling. So I would think that in addition to all the personal reasons you want to study abroad in China, also think about your long-term career options. If you have no more knowledge about China, it's becoming more and more important for Americans to study China, and vice versa, of course, in order for us to have a more peaceful world, to avoid conflicts. Certainly, now one of the features that our program has, our students, when they take classes in China, and I teach those classes, we open our classroom to the students in the Xiamen University, our host university. So, in fact, our students have a lot of opportunities to exchange minds and ideas with young Chinese college students. Think about the future of these two nations, the future of our relationship. So the future is in you, the young people, the young college students. So how I can't stress more that how beneficial it will be for more young people in two countries to learn from each other. And thank you all for sticking until very last presentation. Thank you.
Okay, we will now have announcements by Ms. Danielle Aubrey.
I'll just stay down here. Thank you all for joining us. As we said before, the theme for this year's International Education Week is International Access for All. So we have a few more events. If you're able to, please join us tonight at 4:30 p.m. here in the Billy C. Black Auditorium. There will be different booths set up with cultural information, different artifacts from all over the world. There will also be performances and food. And that's, again, tonight here in Billy C. Black at 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. There will also be an international fashion show. Tomorrow on Tuesday, the College of Business is sponsoring the International Business Poster Competition. That will be held at 2 p.m. tomorrow in Peace Hall in the Calm Lab. And then after that at 5:30 p.m. in JPL 114 in the library, there will be a student panel discussion where more of the 2015 study abroad students will share their experiences. And this week will end with the President's Honors Luncheon on Wednesday at 12 p.m. in the Student Center ballrooms. Again, thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you at the rest of the IEW events.